Today, we're diving into something deceptively simple, but deeply powerful, turning off the screen and turning up the real life connection. The episode title says it all: Unplug to Reconnect. What happens when you trade screen time for neighbors? And let me tell you, this isn't about guilt tripping you for enjoying a movie night. It's about showing you what's possible when you start investing the best hours of your day into people instead of pixels. So grab your coffee, lace up the boots, and let's get after it. Now, before we go any further, I recognize the irony of the fact that I'm on a YouTube live show talking about reducing screen time and reducing time in front of TVs and things of that nature and spending it with real connection. I do appreciate the irony, but bear with me through that, and we will get through this together. And maybe, just maybe, we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Anyway, let's start with a story. A couple we'll call James and Sarah. Now, they live in a small town, not exactly rural, but far enough from the city that community feels, well, optional. James works remote. Sarah homeschools their two kids, but they fall into bed most nights just exhausted. Who can relate? They'd turn on the Netflix or what other streaming services they had and watch two or three episodes, maybe even a movie, then crash. Next day, rinse and repeat. Till one day, James finally said, I'm tired of watching other people live fake lives while our lives feel like it's on autopilot. So they canceled every streaming service cold turkey. Every one of them: Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Disney Plus, all of it. And they started something else. Friday night, they cooked a big meal: chili or lasagna, maybe pulled pork, whatever stretched. They texted a few families from their church, said, hey, we're having supper at our place. No agenda, no dress code, bring your kids, bring a side. The first week, one couple showed up. I think we can relate to that. Then two, then four. And within like a month, their living room and back porch were full. Kids running barefoot in the grass, grown ups sitting around swapping stories, laughing, helping with dishes, sharing life. No phones, no entertainment system, just people. And you know what? Their stress went down. Their joy went up. The friendships they built on those Friday nights became their lifeline when hard times hit. One of the families, they got laid off. Another got a bad diagnosis from the doctor. Another, well, they had a crisis with a teenager. And those of us that have had teenagers, we can relate. And because they had community, they didn't face any of it alone. That was the power of trading Netflix and screen time for neighbors. So the question is, where did all the front porches go? Who remembers the front porch scene, right? We have front porch Fridays around here, and it's a throwback to the old days of sitting on a front porch with a glass of tea or a cup of coffee or whatever, and then just enjoy time visiting and talking. No screens, no nothing else, just the visitation. So let's be real here. We didn't lose that community overnight. It's been a slow drift. But if you rewind the tape back to your grandparents or great grandparents, maybe your parents, people lived different. They knew their neighbors, not just their names, but their stories. There were porches and potlucks, quilting bees and barn raisins. People sat outside after dinner just to talk. Nobody scheduled it. It was just life. But today, we've got garage door openers and binge watching algorithms. We can scroll for hours and still feel completely alone. But guess what? That loneliness, that ache in your gut that says something's off, something's not right, well, it's a clue, and it's your soul telling you the truth. That we're made for real connection. Real, awkward, beautiful, face to face connection. Not filtered, not edited, just real. And reclaiming that doesn't require a commune or a cult or a complete tech detox. It just takes one small yes. And you might say, well, Ryan, listen, I'm introverted. And hey, I'm not, but bro is, right? And yeah, bro, you're there. I know. So let's talk about the introverts, because we see you and we hear you. And Keith is you. Okay. And I have my moments where I don't want people. Okay. And we're not asking you to throw a block party every weekend, okay? Or start hugging strangers at the farmer's market. It might be a little weird. Yeah, cops could get called. I don't know. Anyway, but what we are saying is this: we all need people, even the quiet ones, even the awkward ones, and even the ones who feel like community is for someone else. So here are three low-pressure ways to start building local connection without short-circuiting your nervous system. One, and start with one. That's exactly right. Start with one. Don't aim for a crowd. Aim for one couple or one family, one person you kind of like. Invite them for coffee or lunch after church or to help you with a project. Keep it low key. All right. And two, leverage what's already there. Is there a local gardening club or a co op? Maybe a volunteer group, something at the library, maybe a free thing in the park. Go once, stay a little longer than you want to. Smile at someone and see what happens. Be careful with them smiles, though. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, now three, create a routine with it. James and Sarah didn't invite to Friday night supper, but they committed to it. They picked a rhythm that worked. First Sunday lunch or every other Wednesday, soup night, Saturday work party, whatever. Let it be open. The key is consistency, not perfection. All right. Because, hey, it's an uncomfortable thing at first, especially invite people to your home. If we're not used to doing it, spending time with people. Not everybody's a conversationalist. Not everybody can sit here and talk for 20, 30 minutes like I can. Not everybody's got that. And I get it. Okay. Now let's talk some numbers. Let's move on and let's talk about numbers. And let's break this down with just a little bit of math. All right. I know not everybody's math people, especially early in the morning, but here we go. The average American spends over 3 hours a day watching TV. Now, I'm not average. I'm less because I work, but a long hours. But, 3 hours a day watching TV and or streaming. That's 21 hours a week. That's more than a part-time job in some cases. What if we just reclaimed half of that? 10 hours a week. That's 10 hours. Host a meal. Walk your neighborhood. Maybe learn someone's story. Maybe you volunteer at a local pantry or something like that. Teach your neighbor to bake something or learn how to bake from your neighbor. Sit on your porch and wave at strangers until they stop and talk. That's a risky move right there, right? Anyway, that's 520 hours a year. 520 hours. Over 3 full weeks worth of community building hours. Just sitting there waiting to be repurposed. Now, listen. Nature abhors a vacuum. You create some vacuum time like that. If you don't have a plan for what's going to fill it, something will. I promise. Okay. So, now I'm not asking you to give up every show or to delete your Wi-Fi because I'm certainly not. But don't say we don't have time for people if we're watching 6 seasons of a show we don't even like. Okay. We've got the time. The question is, what are we going to do with it? All right. Now, let's get real. What can you lose and what can you gain? Because let's be honest, you will lose something when you unplug. Mm-hmm. You'll lose the fake comfort of zoning out. We all want to get numb to the brain sometimes, just not have to think or just not have to do. Okay. You lose control of only engaging with things on your terms. That's the thing about an off button. Stop, rewind. Okay. And you know what? You might lose the illusion that you're informed just because you've seen 3 documentaries on the food system or watched some crazy show at 6 a.m. with me. But anyway, but here's what you'll gain, and that's more important. All right. Let's see what we're at here. Well, you might hear the joy of someone laughing at your table. Maybe the ache of praying with a neighbor going through something hard. The humility of letting someone help you. And that's tough for some of us, I know. And you know what? Certain stories just can't be captured on camera. Okay. And maybe the sense that you're a part of something bigger. And maybe you'll become a known person in a known place. Now that's, maybe you'll start feeling like you belong, not on a subreddit or streaming algorithm, but in real life. Actually part of a community, that you actually belong there. And that is priceless. Now let's take some practical actions here. We'll call it the one table challenge. And listen, Bro has done something like this in the past. And, I think he enjoyed it, and I think maybe something he tries to do again. And that's something I'm wanting to do once I have a kitchen and a table, but, maybe. So here's the challenge. Call it the one table challenge, like I said. One, pick a day, okay? Pick a meal, invite one household. You might even start with your own kids or your own siblings or your parents or, people that are really close to you that, would enjoy seeing you without a device in front of your face. Okay? But invite someone. When you get there, put these in a basket. Put your phones in a basket. That's a whole trick right there, right? Put the phones in a basket, turn them off, whatever, put them, no, maybe not turn them off, but put them in a basket, put them away. And then guess what? Eat, laugh, listen, and repeat. Okay? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't apologize for the dirty floors. Don't worry if the meatloaf is a flop. Just make room at the table because tables turn strangers into friends and friends into family. Okay? Now, this step 4 is this week is unplugging from systems, exiting systems. And our televisions and our screens and our devices, they're a system and they keep us attached. And like I said, I recognize the irony of the fact that I'm sitting here on a YouTube, Facebook, X, Rumble, doing a show talking about unplugging from this very system for a little while, not completely, but just making time and carving out time and not spending so much of it. I'll share a quick personal story before we go on. This last weekend we had the grandkids were hanging around. And then a little bit earlier, twice my grandson, who listen, he's got his Minecraft and he's in his screens and he's doing what a typical 9-headed to 10-year-old boy will do. But all of a sudden he wants to play a card game. Now, a couple of different games. Now, don't get me wrong. The card games are kind of silly. But didn't matter. He wanted Mimi and Papa to play a card game with him. So it wasn't a screen. It wasn't a phone. It wasn't anything else. It was sit down and just play a game together. Spend time together. And we did that. And, I was tired one of those times. I wanted to kind of scroll the Facebook. But you know what? Put it down. And we played a game. And we had fun. And it was something besides a screen. So listen, it's there. And those little precious moments, those matter. Especially when a 9-10-year-old kid wants to do something like that, versus, being on a screen or being, entertained by a movie. So back to now that we had non-fictional story time with Ryan, let's get back to the show. Friends, this show isn't just about chickens or canning or anything like that. It's about recovering something sacred that we've lost in our digital age, and that is human connection. That's why I love the meetups. That's why I like the expos and the events when we get out and we actually get to meet and hang out with each other face to face, because that human connection matters. Self-reliance is about doing everything alone, as we've said. That's a myth. It's not about it. It's about building a life that includes others. When we unplug from artificial connection, we make space for authentic relationships. And when we trade the shallow for the sacred, we begin to thrive, not just survive. So this week, unplug to reconnect. Turn off the screen. Open the door. Set the table and see what happens. You might just discover your richest harvest isn't in the garden, could be in your living room. And if this episode stirred something in you, don't just nod and move on like we tend to do. Maybe do something this time. Start small, but start. Like I said, just invite, sit down with your kids or your parents or siblings or a friend, people that that you're safe with, right? And just have that, okay? We got to keep growing and we got to keep gathering and we got to keep going deeper than the screen, okay? Because this is where real food meets real life, okay? This is where we get real with people. And, unplug to reconnect. Step 4, eliminate a system. Netflix, all the streaming services. Unplug from it and get into real human connection. That's today's topic. Anyway, welcome in. Good morning to everybody. Welcome into the Farm to Table Show morning edition. I am Ryan, for those who haven't figured this out. And unfortunately, again, today it is Memorex Ryan. I'm sorry to say, I told y'all earlier, and I ain't done nothing led up to prove me wrong, that it was going to be one of those weeks. All right. One of those weeks. And nothing has happened to change that. I've had two different times that I thought, hey, I'm going to be live. And it got the rug just ripped right out of me. So here I am. But let's do a little roll call. Let's see who might be hanging around. I'm just guessing. And if you're here, hey, I hope you are. Scotty, Robbie, Terry, Jeff, Jack, Joy, Ed, Rebecca, all the others. Maybe some of the ones I can. Let me see. David Lace, hadn't talked to you in a while. Let's see, Chris or Dodge Thompson. That'd be great. If y'all guys are in, and and all the others. And let's see, Tracy and Tim, and our friends with E&D, and all the different ones that come in. Listen, I wish, and all the ones that are silent that don't always chat or don't comment, but tune in and listen later. Glad you're here. Hopefully, bro's in, and keeping the chat going. And Scotty was there to turn the lights on, and all those things. And I'm missing you guys. I can't wait till I have the next morning that I can be live with y'all and we can chat, and that adds such a dimension to the show, and my time here with it as well, and just enjoy having all that in there. But I don't know what the schedule is the next 2 days. I won't know. I know tomorrow's, and then I won't know Thursdays until sometime tomorrow, and vice versa. It's just the nature of my job. Changes every day, but I am looking forward to it. But that's okay. We're still here, and we're still putting it out, and just want to let you know that I would prefer to be with you live, and hence that means no redneck weather report. Now, if the weather forecast is correct for tonight, well, what was last night, I will wake up with a bunch of rain, having fallen overnight. Temperatures have been hot. We had some cool breeze blowing through part of the day in the evening, and hopefully today's another day. Chances of rain, but good temperatures. So hey, make the best of it. I hope it's safe and dry wherever you are. I hope no storms. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope Jack's feeling better. Hope Scotty's getting a little bit step closer to recovery from his recent procedures, and Terry's legs healing up better, and just everybody's feeling better. That's my prayer today, is that you're all feeling better. So no redneck weather report. Man, Jack, I almost forgot what it's like to see you at 4 o'clock in the morning, or hear your voice when you've been up at that time of the morning. But anyway, we'll get through. We'll do the best we can with it. So let's get on with today's Brain Buster. A little teaser, a little thought that makes you go, well, here it is. Why aren't iPhone chargers just called apple juice? Oh, that's cracked me up. That's great. Apple juice. Why aren't iPhone chargers just called apple juice? Makes sense to me. What do you think? Anyway, little funny, little ha-ha, little kind of make you scratch your head and go, who come up with this stuff? That's almost a dad joke, right? No kidding. But anyway, all right. So let's move on next. Our quote of the day. Kind of tied in with the show, as I usually do. Try to tie it into the topic in some way, and hopefully so. Quote of the day. I'm glad we had the times together just to laugh and sing a song. Seems like we just got started, and then before you know it, the times we had together were gone. Our good friend Dr. Seuss. I'm going to say that again just so y'all get it in the back. I'm glad we had the times together just to laugh and sing a song. Seems like we just got started. Then before you know it, the times we had together were gone. Feel that way every morning. Get to hang out with y'all. Dr. Seuss said that. Pretty smart guy, that Dr. Seuss, I tell you. Still ain't quite figured out the things. I get Cat in the Hat and all the others. Them things. And why I don't know, a little sketchy. But anyway, and the Grinch and all those great things. But hey, love some Seuss. Anyway, So let's move on into upcoming events. We'll go through that and we'll see where this leads us. Of course, this weekend coming up, June 6th and 7th, the Homestead Festival, Hardison Mills near Columbia, Tennessee. It's about an hour south of Nashville. It's going to be on Roy Feeks Ranch down there, big event. Hope some of y'all, I don't know if everybody listening gets to go. It'd be nice if y'all were. Wish I was, but nope. Alas, that's not on the cards this year. Now, coming up, end of June, June 27th and 28th, is the Modern Homesteading Conference in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Beautiful area up there in that part. I've been through Coeur d'Alene once, twice, and beautiful area up there. But anyway, modernhomesteading.com, you can find out more there. And I said, a great event for the Northwest, great lineup. It's been going on for a few years now, really doing a great job. Next up in September, September 5th and 6th, Ozarks Homesteading Expo, September 5th, Marshfield, Missouri. Looking forward to it. They just put out a post that there's a possibility they might actually sell out of tickets this year, which is phenomenal. And there's a bonus. There has been every year. It was last year. We got to see a preview of the movie, Homestead, the movie that came out. This year, something they'd been wanting to do was have a church service on Sunday morning for those who might still be in town. And they have announced that is going to happen this year back at the fairgrounds. The times on, like I said, you can find it on Facebook under Oklahoma Homestead, wrong one, Ozarks Homesteading Expo. And anyway, but that Sunday morning, for those who are still in town, they're going to have a little church service there on the fairgrounds. No armbands or nothing required. And Joel Salatin's going to be delivering the message that morning. So quite a treat, actually. So for those who may still be in town and want to get up and make the drive out there or stick around, they're having that. And I think that's just pretty doggone cool. But anyway, so one more benefit to going to the Ozarks Homesteading Expo right there. End of September, 26th and 27th, Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous. Southeast Expo Center in McAlester, Oklahoma. Looking forward to that one. It is, things are growing around it. It's getting busy. Dodge and Chris and the committee doing a great job. Got a great lineup. Plenty of vendors. See, still space open for vendors, by the way. So anyway, you can find out more at oklahomahomesteadrendezvous.org or on the old Facebook. Check it out there. And of course, Homesteaders of America Conference, October 10th and 11th, Front Royal, Virginia. That has sold out, but I don't know. Maybe you can find some tickets out there somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. I know there's events that I don't have. Wish I could get them all. Wish I could keep up with them all, but it's just not. Unless somebody sends it to me and I remember it, where I find it, come across it. But, maybe there's little things, in your area that you can go to during some of those times if you can't make the big events. And, it is farmers market season. So, be on the look for farmers markets, artisan markets, things like that. And as, summer has begun, kids are out of school, making those times for things like that and, getting the whole family out maybe becomes a little different, maybe becomes a little easier, maybe a little more difficult. Just depends on your schedule. But that quality time together, much like we talked about in the first half of the show, spending that quality face time with friends, social groups, family, church, that type of thing. Even for the introverts and the ones who are shy or just, maybe you've reached that point that you don't really like people that much. It happens. It's still something needed. Community, quality time together, and just hanging out. No agenda, no purpose other than just to visit and hang out and develop friendship. And something we could use a little bit more in this world. I think if we had if we had more front porches, we'd have a lot less problems. That's what I, think. As like I said, I can just sit on the front porch with a glass of cold iced tea. Don't know about y'all, but anyway, wish it was Front Porch Friday, but alas, it's not. It is Hump Day. It's Wednesday, and off to work I must go. So that's a wrap for today on the Farm to Table Show Morning Edition. Thanks for joining us as we strive towards building stronger communities for now and in the future. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected and help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. And let's see, where are we at here? I'm going to be having to read something for you because before I let you go, I'm going to scroll. I'm going to give you a little tease. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., hopefully live, not promising, hopefully live. Let's see, here we go. Wait a minute, hang on. Well, I don't know. Anyway, I thought I was going to tell you tomorrow's show. Got lost in the mix there. I'll find it. But either way, it's another part of step 4. And we're going to be right here in, 6 a.m. as always. So excuse that little snafu there. I was trying to find something. Realized I got off. Anyway, long story. Yeah, a little technical detail. It's what happens when you work 14-hour days and, ain't getting no sleep. But anyway, folks, enjoyed the time together today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this episode. And anyway, until next time, keep your roots deep and your vision growing. Good food starts with great people just like you. Remember, we are #StrongerTogether. Be a blessing to someone, and we will see you all on the other side. And here's Hank to take it away.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.